This is pen holder lesson part 2 of the design and machining of the angle across here with the concave. So we have to draw this line at 25 degrees and extend it out the other way and then go line parallel to create this line, and then we have to cut the solid. So follow along here. So from the top view, let's create a level 3 called triangle and translate. So that's level 3, we're going to make that active. So you're going to create that. So I've drawn this. This is kind of what it's going to look like. I'm going to delete these and show you how to do it. Okay, from the top view, turn your solids off. You want to draw a line, you got to wait till this is highlighted. So there I've connected on the center. 90 degrees, another 25 should equal 115. Then we're going to modify the length, just extend this out long enough so it's outside of the part. The next thing we want to do is translate this over the 1/2 inch. So that's a 1/2 inch there. And type in 0.5. That's done, and we do not need that. Okay, so now we're going to draw a triangle. We want a triangle on either side. So it doesn't matter what angle you're at, just make yourself a triangle. And what we want to do is translate this. So let's go to transform, translate. You're going to pick those 3 lines, end selection, and we want to move it in the direction of that blue arrow. So we're going to select move. We want to make sure we're outside of the part, which it is, and select OK to that, and then we're going to copy it back in the other direction. End. Select copy. So let's look at the end of the part, make sure we got it out enough. Just roughly, so 2.8 inches seemed to work for me. Might be different for you. So we've got a triangle on either side. We want to connect these 2 points with a line. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to cut the solid. So turn your solids back on, and here goes the magic. You're going to select solid, extrude, and make sure you select just one triangle. And you want to cut this body. So just to kind of show you, I'll back this up. It's cutting the body. So make sure you click that till you're all the way cut through. Oops. Should be clean cut like that. Select OK. And then you can turn off level 3. And there you have your cut body. So enter instructions. So on another level, draw a line from center at 25 degrees, then extend the line through the part. Draw a parallel line, 0.5. Draw a triangle with a directional line. draw a triangle and translate, move it to the other outside of the part. Translate, copy a second triangle to the other side of the part, join with a line from corner to corner. Solid extrude, cut body through the solid. Okay, the next step we're going to have to follow along really closely. We're about to draw this concave here and this circle around inside here. Okay, so here we go. So I want to turn this so that this is facing me. Okay, so this is what it's going to be like in the mill. That face is going to be facing you. We're going to go select from a solid face, and you want to make sure just that guy is highlighted. We're going to pick this face. So then we're going to change this until the Y is at the back, X is to the right, and Z is in the upward direction. And let's give it a name. Concave plane. Okay, so now when I select concave plane, it goes right to that face. I also want to turn my construction path on, turn all this on. We're going to draw a circle. Now look at your print. This is 69 thou flat across here, so we have to determine what size this is. So we analyze the entity, and it's a 0.837 radius. So let's start with that. So you're going to go 0.837 minus the 69 thou flat. Okay, so that gives you a flat, and we have to draw a line between these two. And why does it draw the line input? So before we draw this line, I'm going to move this one circle to another level. So go to your level pages, and we'll create a new level for, and we will call it radius 1.552, because that's the size of the radius. So this is the radius that we're drawing here, the 1.552. Again, your drawing might be different, so check your drawing. Okay, so we need to draw a line, and I'm going to select a midpoint here. Let's turn off some of these levels too. We're going to draw on number 4. We'll turn as much off as possible, so make it easier to draw the line. So line, midpoint, so it draws it out in both directions. And save that. So to see what we're doing here, let's resolve. We'll turn on the level 12 and go back to our planes and select top, because we have to draw the radius within here. So I'm just going to tip it a bit just so we can see where we have to connect. So if we go to circle edge point, arc edge points, we're going to select that point and that point, same top and bottom. I'm just going to right click and go back to top. That should have been on top. We weren't on the construction plane. So go back. You're gonna select the construction plane top, all of that. Then we're going to draw again arc edge point from there to there. Right click, I'm going to select top, and now the radius is on that top view. So just click that, and my radius 1.552, and enter. So now we have that radius drawn there. Okay, back to the top. Or actually, let's select line from there down to there. We don't need this, just 2 endpoints. It drew it anyways, I'll trim that off. So what you're gonna end up with, so again, make sure we don't trim off anything else. So let's turn that other stuff off. We want to trim there, there, and there. So we basically want this letter D in here when you're looking at the top plane. So we have to have that D in there. I'm going to go back and redo this to show you guys. Okay, so divide, we don't need that. And solids, planes, levels. I can't get my solids come back on here. Maybe it needs a solid revolve. So it's the solid revolve that has to be on. Okay, so if you want to, where is it here? Home. Maybe under viewing. Translucent. So you make this translucent, you can see that letter D. Then when we're going to go solid revolve, you're going to select this chain. So it's all a complete chain. You select OK, and you've got to select a baseline, which is that line, and you want to cut body. So that's what it should look like before you cut it. Okay, so I just deleted all that. I'm going to show you one more time. So we want to turn this so it faces us. And then we're going to select a new plane. And the plane is going to be from a solid face. Make sure this guy is selected face. And we're going to turn this until the Y is to the back, X to the right, and Z in the upward direction. And give it a new name. Concave plane. Okay, so we want to draw on this concave plane, so let's make sure we have our construction plane on, and we're going to draw the circle 69 thou less than the outside diameter. So we're going to measure this, which is 0.837. We'll draw a circle of 0.837, and the radius minus 0.069, which is the flat. Oh, it's being tough on me. There it is. So now we want to draw a line through this. And did we create a level 4? No, we didn't. So let's select that line, right click, and we're going to move it to the level 4, and we're going to give it a name concave. Okay, so we can turn this other stuff off and not have to worry about it. We're going to draw a line, and we'll use midpoint. I'm just going to extend it out past. Okay, so you can see that line's out past now. Let's go over to the top plane. Again, you want to make sure your construction plane is on. This is where we're going to draw the arc endpoints. I'm going to tip it a bit just so I can see it. Connect there, connect there. I'm going to right click and select top. And then I'm going to type in the radius of 1.552. Then I need to draw a line down to connect it to make the letter D. So I'll turn it, and you can see that letter D. So let's trim that up. So we don't need this half of the D, just that one. Okay. So now we're going to go back to the levels and turn on solid revolve. So we have our full solid, and it's in translucent mode under the viewing. Now we're going to solid revolve, and we got to select the chain. Make sure the full chain is selected. Select a line to use as the axis, so this is the axis. Cut the body, and you can see it's cut that out. It'd be better if I turn the translucent off. Now you can see it better. And okay that. And I'm going to save at that point. So right now if I go to concave plane, turn that all on, this is where we're working, right on that point right now. Alright, let's start machining this. Make sure you have your concave plane all on. We're going to go into the toolpath and select machine. Default, so you have to select your correct cost machine. Set up the tools. And we are going to machine with toolpath rough. Finishing. So pocket rough. Again, you have face selected. You're going to select this face in the selection, and OK. So we're going to be using, should be a 1/4 inch ball nose tool here. 1/4 inch ball nose end mill, and 3/32 for the engraving, and a 2-inch face mill. So let's scratch out that. We should be doing the 2-inch face mill first. Select facing and make sure face is selected. And we're going to use our 2-inch face mill. We'll just put it at 1400, feed rate 8, plunge rate 15 because we're plunging down in the air. Make sure your rapid retract is on. Cut parameters, you can select zigzag, cross the overlap, we'll just put 1/4 inch. Approach and exit distance, let's go with, say, also 1/4 inch. Just trying to tighten it up so we're not cutting air. 1/4 inch. And depth of cuts, I wouldn't go too heavy on the cuts because of the fixture we're using, 30 thou, and say, even 15 on the finish step. Linking parameters, everything absolute. We're going to retract to, that's 0.75 to be safe. If you want to set up clearance here, you can use 1 inch before and after. So this here, let's go and we've got to have a look at this after we're done writing the program. I'm just guessing at top of stock 0.5, but you need to know exactly where it is. And 0 is going to be your final depth. Your plane should be your concave plane. Coolant on. I think that should be everything. So if I go to my front plane, or top plane, we need to know this distance down. So do we have anything in levels? Yes, we have levels. So let's analyze this distance from here to there, which is 475 thou. Okay, we also could have got that from the print, which would be 2.5 to here plus this radius. So what you're going to do is you're going to set the tool, the fly cutter, off of the top of that, and then take your G54, or set all your tools off the top of this and set your G54 at minus 475 thou. So keep in mind your drawing. You've got to look at your drawing to see how much yours is equal to. So going back to plane, the one we're working on. Make sure all this is turned on. And tool path facing, guess we don't need that in there, I got 2 of them. Let's double check through this. Speed and feed's good, cut parameters, zigzag, that's all good, depth is good. Top of stock, 0.475. So let's simulate this to show you what it's going to do. So it's off of the part. You can see it's off the part. And it's just going to face this off until we get down to the bottom, which should be 0. See, our last cut is 15 thou and then 0. So that faces off the top. Then we are going to use pocket. You're going to select this, so make sure face selection is on. You highlight that and your selection. This is okay. And we have to go select a tool, which is ball nose end mill. So none of those, all of that. 1/4 ball nose end mill. Speed, Crank that up to 4,000, and I would like 30. We don't need anything here. Rough parameters, maximum step down, like, okay, we don't want it to go 100 thou, so this is roughing. Let's just take 20 thou. And finishing, we want to do a true spiral. Step over percentage. Step over distance. 10. We're going to try 10 thou and see how that works out. So one finish pass with a spacing of 10 thou. That should be good there. Okay, let's select those two. I just want to see what the timeline is here. An hour. We could tighten that up. Okay, so we have to go back here. Before we simulate this, let's go in and change the roughing parameters just a bit. We'll smooth this out a bit more, 5 thou, and that is roughing, so let's leave that at 20 thou. And to get this to verify all at once, we have to go back to here, hit this button to position the arrow within this turning group, and select all of your program, including the milling, and we'll verify that. We'll just kind of skip through things here. Close that off. And this will mill from the inside out. We'll skip through that, and then there's finishing at the end of that. Okay, we need to try and get a bit better finish.